My beloved, take a quiet breath for a moment and allow your heart to settle. Something meaningful is happening inside you, even if you cannot yet fully explain it. There are moments in life when change does not arrive loudly. It does not come like thunder or lightning. Instead, it appears gently, almost quietly, until one day you realize that the way you think, the way you respond, and the way you see yourself has begun to shift. You may soon notice that certain conversations no longer pull you into old emotional patterns. Words that once stirred strong reactions will begin to land differently. Where tension once appeared quickly, there will now be a pause. And that pause, my beloved, is not weakness. That pause is power. It is the moment where awareness steps in before impulse. It is the moment where peace chooses your response instead of regret. In this moment, I want to invite you to take a simple step of faith. Tap the like button on this message. Let that action be your quiet agreement with what God is doing in your life right now. My child, what is unfolding within you is not about becoming someone completely new. It is something far deeper than that. It is about allowing what has always been true to finally rise to the surface. You are not being reshaped. You are being revealed. And before we continue, if you feel that this message may also reach someone who needs encouragement today, share it with them. Sometimes when you pass a message forward, the blessing multiplies, not only for them, but for you as well. If these words confirm something your spirit has already been sensing, pause for a moment and type Amen in the comments below. Let that simple declaration become your agreement with what God is revealing in your life. For a long time, parts of your true self were hidden beneath expectations, pressure, and the belief that you had to react to life in certain ways. But those layers are slowly falling away. What remains is the truth of who you are. Steady, aware, guided. The version of you moving forward carries less fear than before. It carries less urgency, and in its place there is something new forming within you, a quiet confidence. You may not announce this change. You may not explain it to everyone around you. In fact, many people may not notice it right away. But inside you, something important has shifted. Remain open without becoming exposed to what drains your spirit. Remain kind without allowing your strength to be depleted. Remain present without allowing the past to pull you backward. Balance is not something you force. Balance is something that appears when alignment settles within you. And whether you realize it yet or not, you are closer to that alignment than you think. My child, this message does not end with these words. It continues through your awareness, through the choices you make, and through the quiet confidence that grows every time you trust yourself. You did not arrive at this moment by accident. And if messages like this strengthen your spirit and guide your understanding, take a moment to subscribe to this channel. Think of it as positioning yourself to continue receiving the encouragement God may be sending your way. Because the truth is simple. You are not walking this path alone. What is meant for you recognizes you just as clearly as you recognize it. The quiet confidence forming within you. My beloved, a different kind of confidence is beginning to grow within you. It is not loud. It does not demand recognition. It does not try to prove itself to others. Instead, it settles quietly. It feels like knowing where you stand without needing to explain it. This confidence does not come from achievements alone. It does not depend on praise or approval. It is formed through something deeper. Self-awareness built through real experiences. There were moments in your life when you felt misunderstood. Moments when your intentions were only partially seen. Moments when the depth of your heart was mistaken for distance. But those moments were not wasted. They refined you. They taught you when to speak and when silence carried greater wisdom. They taught you how to observe character instead of trusting promises alone. What once felt isolating has now become wisdom that protects your peace. My beloved, notice how your perspective has widened. Situations that once overwhelmed you now appear manageable. People who once held influence over your emotions no longer occupy the same space in your heart. This is not detachment born from hurt. It is freedom born from clarity. You are learning to care without becoming entangled. You are learning to engage without carrying burdens that were never assigned to you. My child, the future you are moving toward will not arrive through chaos or force. It will unfold gradually through choices that feel aligned rather than pressure. You will recognize the right direction not only through excitement, but through calm certainty. That calm feeling is your signal. If you can already feel that calm confirmation growing inside your spirit, type Amen in the comments below. Trust that feeling. If this message is confirming something deep within your heart, take a moment and like this video. Let that small action be your step of faith as you trust the direction God is guiding you toward. My beloved, you no longer need to return to old questions searching for answers that once seemed hidden. Growth has already shifted your perspective. What once confused you was not always wrong timing. Sometimes it was simply incomplete understanding. Now that understanding is growing, and with it comes acceptance. Some chapters close without explanation because clarity arrives later. My child, your presence carries more influence than you realize. Not because you try to persuade, but because authenticity resonates naturally. You no longer need to adjust yourself just to be accepted. What aligns with you will recognize you. What does not will quietly fade. And this is how balance restores itself. If you sense that this message is speaking directly into your season, subscribe and remain connected to this space. Staying close to words that strengthen your spirit keeps you aligned with what God is unfolding next. My beloved, allow yourself to move forward without dragging yesterday's weight into tomorrow's space. Reflection has served its purpose. Now integration begins. Integration is where insight becomes instinct, where lessons become ease. And you are entering that phase now. Quietly, steadily, without disruption. You are not waiting anymore. You are arriving. If this word speaks to your season, press the like button right now. Let that action be your declaration that you believe God is aligning things in your life. And my beloved, this is only the beginning. When clarity begins to replace confusion. My beloved, something gentle yet powerful is happening inside you. It may not feel dramatic, and it may not appear sudden to those around you, but within your spirit there is a quiet settling taking place. This settling did not come through force. It came through acceptance. You are no longer trying to outrun uncertainty or control outcomes that were never meant to be forced. Instead, there is an emerging ease in how you move through your days. A calm assurance is beginning to guide your steps, reminding you that you can meet whatever unfolds without losing yourself in the process. This is not resignation. It is alignment. Alignment does not announce itself loudly. It reveals itself quietly through calm decisions, thoughtful pauses, and the growing awareness that not everything requires your reaction. My child, you have reached a stage where reflection no longer drags you backward into the past. Instead, reflection now informs you. It teaches you without anchoring you to what has already passed. Memories still surface, but they arrive differently now. They come without the emotional charge they once carried. Instead of stirring regret, they bring perspective. What once hurt deeply now simply teaches. This shift did not happen overnight. It was shaped through many internal decisions, moments when you chose honesty with yourself, moments when you stayed open even while uncertainty surrounded you, and moments when you continued moving forward without needing immediate answers. Each of those moments strengthened something within you. That willingness is now becoming strength. My beloved, you may also notice a growing clarity about what deserves your energy and what quietly drains it. This awareness is not judgment. You are not condemning anyone. Instead, you are learning discernment. Discernment allows you to protect your peace without needing confrontation. It guides your energy toward what nourishes you and away from what slowly exhausts your spirit. Protection does not always look like distance. Sometimes protection looks like awareness. Sometimes it looks like choosing calm instead of reaction. Peace is something you choose to protect. If today you are choosing peace over pressure and clarity over confusion, write, "I choose peace," in the comments below. Let those words become a declaration over your life. My child, there will be opportunities appearing ahead of you that feel different from the ones you encountered in the past. They will not arrive loudly. They will not rush you. Instead, they will feel natural, almost familiar, as if they were waiting for you to arrive internally before appearing externally. And when you encounter them, you will not feel the need to rush or prove yourself. You will recognize them through resonance. Excitement can be loud, but resonance is calm. That recognition will be your confirmation. My beloved, the patience you practiced during uncertain seasons refined your perception. You can now sense when timing supports growth and when delay preserves stability. Before, waiting felt frustrating. Now you understand that some pauses exist for protection. You no longer feel the need to force movement simply to feel progress. Progress is already happening through awareness, through restraint, through grounded decisions that honor your well-being. And awareness changes everything. If these messages help sharpen your awareness and strengthen your faith, consider subscribing. Let it be your decision to remain connected to the encouragement meant for your journey. My child, there is also a subtle expansion happening within your sense of purpose. Not a sudden revelation, but a steady clarification. You are beginning to understand that meaning is not always found in dramatic moments or grand achievements. Sometimes meaning appears through consistency, through integrity, through the quiet courage to remain true to your values, even when distractions invite compromise. This realization anchors you far more deeply than any external validation ever could. My beloved, trust that the experiences approaching your life will meet you with respect rather than resistance. They will not require you to abandon your values. They will not demand that you silence your intuition. Instead, they will invite collaboration rather than conflict, growth rather than exhaustion. You will feel this alignment through subtle signals. Your mind will settle. Your body will relax. Your heart will remain steady. My child, the calm you are developing is not fragile. It is resilient. Fragile calm disappears when difficulty appears, but resilient calm adapts. It remains present even when challenges arise. This calm is a sign that you are no longer living from survival alone. You are living from awareness, and that awareness will continue guiding you forward. Standing in quiet self-respect, my beloved, there is a gentle firmness beginning to shape the way you stand within your own life. Not as defense, but as self-respect. You are no longer negotiating with doubt the way you once did. You are no longer explaining your worth to situations that never truly wanted to understand it. This shift did not require confrontation. It required clarity, and clarity has been strengthening quietly within you. Slowly, it has been teaching you something important. Peace is not something you wait to receive. Peace is something you choose to protect. My child, your relationship with time is also changing. Moments no longer feel like obstacles you must endure. They no longer feel like deadlines to fear. Instead, they are beginning to feel like spaces you can fully inhabit. When attention rests in the present moment, wisdom surfaces naturally. Anxiety loses its grip. Anticipation softens into curiosity. My beloved, there were lessons you learned through restraint rather than action, through listening instead of reacting, through observing patterns instead of interfering with them. Those lessons refined your discernment. Discernment built through experience cannot easily be shaken by pressure or opinion. It remains steady, and now it guides you. My child, you are beginning to recognize that not every invitation deserves your acceptance. Choice is becoming intentional rather than automatic. You are allowing your energy to move where it can contribute without being depleted. This selectivity is not rejection. It is alignment. Your decisions now preserve your strength while expanding your influence. Your presence brings calm to conversations. If this message is strengthening something inside you, take a moment and like this video. Let that action be your small step of faith, acknowledging the quiet work God is doing in your life. My beloved, what unfolds ahead will not mirror what you left behind. You have outgrown certain dynamics. Growth has quietly closed some doors without conflict. New paths open when readiness replaces longing, and readiness is now present within you. If this message found you at the right moment, subscribe and stay connected to this space. Sometimes obedience simply means remaining open to the words meant to guide your next steps. My child, the grounding you feel is not temporary. It is the result of internal coherence forming between your thoughts, your feelings, and your intuition. When these align, movement becomes fluid. Challenges appear less intimidating. Solutions appear with less effort. This coherence allows you to navigate complexity without losing balance. You are no longer reacting to life. You are responding to it. With awareness, with calm, with quiet confidence. And that confidence will continue guiding you into the next chapter of your life. My beloved, there is a widening steadiness forming within you that is quietly reshaping how you experience challenges. In earlier seasons of your life, strength may have appeared as intensity. It may have meant pushing forward with determination, forcing progress even when your spirit felt exhausted. But now you are discovering something deeper. Strength does not always appear as force. Sometimes strength appears as composure. It appears as the ability to remain steady even when situations around you are still forming. It appears as the quiet refusal to be shaken by every unexpected moment. This composure allows you to hold complexity without becoming overwhelmed. You can acknowledge uncertainty without surrendering your direction. You can remain present even while outcomes are still unfolding. My child, you have also learned to separate urgency from importance. There was a time when haste guided many of your decisions. You may have felt pressure to resolve everything quickly, to answer every question immediately, or to prove your progress before it was fully ready. But now, discernment sets the pace. You are learning to slow down when slowing down protects your energy. You are learning to focus your attention only on what genuinely contributes to your growth. This change protects your strength. It refines your focus. You no longer feel responsible for solving everything at once. Instead, progress unfolds through consistency rather than pressure. My beloved, there is also a subtle confidence emerging in the way you speak. Your words carry intention rather than explanation. In earlier seasons, you may have felt the need to justify your thoughts, to explain your choices in ways that made others comfortable. But that need is fading. You are discovering that authenticity does not require constant expression. Sometimes silence carries greater meaning than words. Silence is not avoidance when it comes from clarity. Silence can create space for truth to settle naturally. My child, your relationship with uncertainty has also matured. Instead of resisting what cannot yet be known, you are learning to coexist with it. Curiosity replaces fear. Patience replaces agitation. This shift opens pathways that resistance once blocked. Insight arrives through observation rather than force. My beloved, you are also becoming more aware of how your environment influences your clarity. Some spaces restore your energy. Other spaces quietly drain it. You are learning to choose environments that support peace, creativity, and restoration. You are choosing depth instead of noise, presence instead of distraction, resonance instead of familiarity. Your presence brings calm to conversations. If this message is strengthening something inside you, take a moment to like this video. Let that action be your small step of faith, acknowledging the quiet work God is doing in your life. My child, opportunities will continue appearing that reflect your evolving state. They will feel grounded rather than overwhelming, supportive rather than demanding. When they arrive, you will recognize them through steadiness rather than excitement. Steadiness rarely misleads. My beloved, the relationship you are forming with yourself is also becoming more compassionate. Self-criticism begins to lose its hold when understanding grows. You are allowing imperfection without judgment, effort without exhaustion, ambition without anxiety. This balance nurtures resilience that lasts beyond circumstances. My child, continue trusting that alignment attracts what belongs. There is no need to grasp or rush. What is meant to connect with your life will do so naturally as you remain centered and attentive. And that alignment will continue guiding you forward. My beloved, there is a calm unfolding within you that is reshaping how you understand effort and rest. For a long time, you may have measured your worth through constant activity. You may have believed that progress required continuous motion and that slowing down meant falling behind. But something inside you now understands a deeper truth. Your value was never meant to be measured by how constantly you move. There is wisdom in effort, but there is also wisdom in rest. Awareness carries value. Thoughtful pacing carries value. The ability to pause without guilt carries value. Rest does not abandon your purpose. Rest restores your strength so that your purpose can continue clearly. My child, perception has deepened within you. You notice subtleties now, shifts in tone, changes in intention, patterns beneath behavior. This awareness once felt overwhelming. You may have questioned it, but now you are beginning to understand that this sensitivity is not a burden. It is guidance. It helps you navigate complexity without becoming entangled in it. My beloved, trust is also becoming internal. It no longer depends entirely on reassurance from others. You are learning to trust your ability to adapt, your ability to respond wisely, your ability to remain grounded even when plans change unexpectedly. This kind of trust brings freedom. If you are ready to trust the guidance God has placed within you, type Amen in the comments below. Let that word become your agreement with the freedom unfolding in your life. Freedom from overthinking. Freedom from fear-driven decisions. Freedom to move forward with confidence rather than caution alone. My child, relationships are also becoming easier to navigate. Expectations soften. Boundaries strengthen. Connections become more genuine because they are no longer driven by the need for validation. You allow relationships to develop naturally. You no longer force closeness, and you no longer maintain distance unnecessarily. My beloved, uncertainty will still appear from time to time, but it will not dominate your inner world. You have learned how to sit with questions without demanding immediate answers. This patience allows insight to emerge naturally. Clarity appears when given space, and awareness changes everything. If these messages help sharpen your awareness and strengthen your faith, consider subscribing. Let it be your decision to remain connected to the encouragement meant for your journey. My child, the steadiness you now carry influences the environments you enter. Your presence grounds conversations. Your listening creates understanding. Your choices reflect thoughtfulness. You are not seeking to lead. You are not trying to follow. You are simply aligned. And alignment carries its own quiet authority. My beloved, the journey ahead will invite awareness rather than struggle. Growth will feel less like conflict and more like refinement. You are not being asked to become someone else. You are being allowed to become fully yourself, without resistance, without fear, without hurry. And as this unfolding continues, you will recognize something remarkable. The person you were becoming was always within you. Now that person is finally stepping forward. My beloved, something subtle but powerful is beginning to shift in how you relate to possibility. In the past, possibilities may have felt heavy with pressure. Opportunities sometimes appeared like tests you had to pass or expectations you had to meet. But now something different is forming within you. Possibility is no longer something that forces urgency. Instead, you are learning to sense when movement is necessary and when stillness carries equal value. This discernment changes everything. It frees you from reacting to expectations that were never aligned with your true direction. What once felt like obligation now feels optional, and that shift returns authority to your choices. My child, the moment you begin to recognize this freedom, something important becomes clear. You are no longer merely reacting to life. You are participating in it with intention. You are choosing where your attention goes. You are choosing where your energy flows. You are choosing what deserves your time. And those choices are shaping your future in ways you may not yet fully see. My beloved, there may come a moment when you suddenly realize that this message itself feels different from others you have heard. It may feel strangely familiar, not because the words are new, but because something within you recognizes the truth behind them. You may wonder why you felt the need to stay here and listen, why you did not scroll away, why your attention remained. But understand this gently. Not every moment in life happens randomly. There are times when a quiet alignment forms long before you recognize it. Small steps you did not notice were guiding you towards something meant to meet you when you were ready. My beloved, heaven does not whisper without purpose, and it does not move without care. The moment your eyes met these words, something unseen shifted, not because the words themselves carry power, but because they arrived when your spirit was ready to receive them. My child, pause for a moment and take a slow breath. Notice how you feel right now. Perhaps you feel a quiet calm. Perhaps you feel curiosity rising within you. Perhaps you feel reassurance forming somewhere deep in your heart. That feeling matters. Many people move quickly through life, passing moments that could change their direction if they paused long enough to recognize them. But you did not rush past this moment. You stayed, and staying has meaning. If this message is confirming something your heart has been sensing, type Amen in the comments below. Let that word become your declaration of agreement with what God is unfolding in your life. My beloved, if you feel even a gentle pull encouraging you to keep listening, honor that feeling. It is not pressure, it is recognition. Recognition that your journey has meaning. Recognition that the struggles you endured were not empty experiences. Recognition that something greater has been forming beneath the surface. My child, there were seasons when you wondered whether your efforts were even seen. You questioned whether your silent endurance mattered. You wondered whether the quiet battles you faced carried meaning beyond survival. Yet even in those moments, you continued forward. Not loudly, not seeking applause, but simply because something inside you refused to give up. That quiet persistence is why this moment has found you now. Wisdom grows in quiet places, and readiness forms when patience meets trust. My beloved, readiness is now present within you. If this message found you at the right moment, subscribe and stay connected to this space. Sometimes obedience simply means remaining open to the words meant to guide your next steps. My beloved, there were seasons in your life when you wondered whether you were moving forward at all. There were days when progress felt invisible. There were nights when your thoughts felt heavier than your strength. You questioned whether your efforts mattered. You wondered whether your endurance had meaning beyond survival. But my child, what you could not see then is becoming clear now. You were not being overlooked. You were being prepared. If you believe that God has been preparing you through every season you walked through, write, "I was being prepared" in the comments below. Preparation often feels like delay when the full picture has not yet been revealed. Doors remain closed. Conversations never happen. Opportunities disappear before they fully arrive. And in those moments, it can feel like life is withholding something from you. But sometimes what feels like delay is protection. There were experiences you desired that would not have served you if they had arrived earlier. There were paths you wanted to walk that required maturity before they could truly support your growth. Readiness cannot be rushed. It forms quietly through experience, through reflection, through moments of internal correction that no one else sees. My beloved, every time you chose patience instead of bitterness, readiness grew within you. Every time you allowed disappointment to teach you instead of hardening your heart, readiness deepened. Every time you continued forward when quitting seemed reasonable, readiness strengthened. My child, there were also relationships in your life that changed shape without explanation. Some faded without closure. Some remained present but no longer felt aligned. At times, those changes may have felt painful, but understand this gently. Not every separation is loss. Sometimes, separation is filtration. What belongs in your future must be able to meet you where you are becoming, not where you once struggled. My beloved, as this shift continues, understanding will begin to meet you naturally. You will see why certain doors remained closed. You will recognize why certain opportunities passed. You will understand how those moments protected you from paths that would have drained your strength. Clarity rarely arrives when the heart is rushing. It appears when the mind becomes quiet enough to recognize it. My child, you are also beginning to recognize what truly nourishes your spirit. Environments that bring calm, activities that restore your focus, conversations that feel balanced instead of draining. This awareness is guiding your choices. You are honoring your limits without apology, and that wisdom is protecting your peace. My beloved, uncertainty no longer feels like an enemy. Instead, it has become an invitation to curiosity, an invitation to flexibility, an invitation to growth. And that openness will allow new possibilities to enter your life. My child, your sense of timing has sharpened. You recognize when to act. You recognize when to wait. You recognize when words are necessary and when silence communicates more clearly. This timing comes from experience, and it now guides you with steady wisdom. If you feel this message strengthening something inside you, take a moment and like this video. Let that action be your quiet step of faith, acknowledging the work God is doing within you. My beloved, you are beginning to see that you can navigate complexity without losing balance. You can engage deeply without becoming overwhelmed. You can remain present even when answers are still forming. And that realization will continue strengthening your trust in yourself. My beloved, an unexpected gentleness is beginning to guide the way you move through life. There was a time when you believed strength required constant armor. You thought protection meant guarding your heart so carefully that nothing could ever reach it. But now something different is emerging. You are discovering that openness does not always create vulnerability in the way you once feared. Sometimes openness creates clarity. It allows truth to pass through your life without leaving wounds behind. This gentleness is not weakness. It carries discernment within it. It chooses honesty instead of performance. It chooses authenticity instead of habit. My child, the way you process information has also changed. You are no longer gathering endless opinions from every direction. Instead, you are absorbing selectively. You allow meaning to settle before reaching outward again. This deepens understanding. When insight matures within you, it becomes wisdom rather than information. My beloved, there is also a growing respect for your own rhythms. You sense when engagement supports clarity and when rest restores perspective. Honoring these rhythms does not slow your progress. It sustains it. You are no longer borrowing energy from tomorrow to meet the demands of today. Balance is becoming intuitive. My child, emotional awareness has also matured within you. Feelings are acknowledged without being amplified. They inform your understanding rather than controlling your actions. This awareness allows you to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. Thoughtful responses create stability. My beloved, your sense of direction is also changing. External achievements still matter, but they no longer define your worth. You are beginning to measure progress through alignment, through integrity, through the coherence between what you believe and how you live. This shift reduces pressure while increasing fulfillment. My child, communication with others is becoming clearer. You listen without defensiveness. You speak without unnecessary explanation. And when alignment fades in a connection, you disengage without resentment. This clarity creates space for genuine relationships. My beloved, adaptability is also strengthening within you. Change no longer feels like a threat. It feels like evolution. You can adjust your direction while remaining anchored in what matters most. This adaptability allows growth to continue even when circumstances shift unexpectedly. My child, quiet confidence forms through consistency. Every thoughtful decision strengthens trust in your judgment. Every mindful pause confirms your ability to navigate complexity with grace. This confidence does not seek validation. It stands quietly, ready to support you as new chapters begin unfolding. My beloved, as this transformation continues, what once felt like struggle will gradually become clarity. The lessons you carried through difficult seasons are now becoming wisdom, and that wisdom will guide you toward what comes next. My beloved, there is a quiet expansion happening within you now. It does not seek attention, yet it changes everything it touches. You may notice it through small moments. Situations that once felt complicated now feel manageable. Challenges that once created tension now meet calm awareness. You are moving through life differently. Instead of bracing for problems, you meet moments with the openness. This does not make you passive. It makes you prepared. Prepared to respond with clarity instead of reflex. Prepared to choose thoughtfully rather than reactively. My child, your motivation is also shifting. In the past, pressure may have driven many of your actions, but now intention is replacing pressure. Your actions flow from alignment. Effort feels purposeful instead of forced. When intention aligns with meaning, effort becomes lighter. My beloved, your relationship with uncertainty continues to mature. You are learning that not knowing everything immediately does not block progress. In many ways, it deepens it. When you allow space for understanding to unfold naturally, solutions appear that urgency would have overlooked. Patience creates room for wisdom. My child, interactions with others are also evolving. Communication becomes clearer because it is rooted in self-awareness. You express thoughts with calm honesty. You listen without defensiveness. This balance creates healthier connections. Relationships become genuine when they are no longer burdened by unspoken expectations. My beloved, remember something important. Not everything that delayed you was meant to stop you. Some pauses were necessary so that you would not arrive too early to something that required deeper maturity. There are outcomes in life that respond only to readiness. And readiness grows through experience, through reflection, through perseverance. My child, some fears that once held power over you are beginning to fade. Not because life suddenly became perfect, but because you are no longer defined by the anticipation of harm. Growth often begins with neutrality, then calm, and eventually confidence. Allow this phase to exist without needing to label it. It is not emptiness, it is reorganization. My beloved, the intelligence within you has been learning when to act and when to remain still. This intelligence was not taught. It was developed through experience. And now it is guiding you. You are not being tested. You are being invited. Invited to step into a life that reflects the wisdom you have earned. My child, relief is coming. But it will not arrive as sudden rescue. It will arrive as stability, as clarity, as the quiet absence of mental noise. If you receive this word and believe clarity is entering your season, press the like button as an act of faith. Because sometimes the smallest agreement opens the door for the greatest breakthrough. My beloved, remain here with these words for a moment longer. Not because something will disappear if you leave, but because staying allows understanding to settle. Integration is where insight becomes strength. It is where reassurance becomes grounded confidence. This message was never meant to excite you briefly and fade. It was meant to anchor something deeper within you. My child, the life unfolding ahead will not require you to abandon who you are. It will simply ask you to stop doubting what you already know. The answers you have been waiting for are not arriving to replace your intuition. They are arriving to confirm it. There is a quiet recalibration happening within you. It may feel subtle, but it is reshaping how you interpret moments, people, and opportunities. Where confusion once lived, there is now space. Space to observe, space to understand, space to respond rather than react. This is clarity learning how to breathe. My beloved, the tiredness you once felt was never weakness. It was the result of carrying awareness before having context. Now context is forming. The pieces are beginning to align. You are not being given sudden revelations. You are being guided toward recognition. Recognition is steady. Recognition lasts. If your spirit feels strengthened by messages like this, subscribe so you do not miss the next word that may be meant to reach you. My child, there will be moments ahead when decisions feel simpler, not because life becomes easier, but because your inner alignment becomes stronger. You will not need endless confirmation. You will not seek validation from uncertain voices. Choices will feel clear, clean, grounded. My beloved, release the belief that you must always prepare for something to go wrong. Awareness is replacing constant vigilance. You are allowed to experience calm without waiting for interruption. You are allowed to enjoy stillness. Because the strength you carry now does not rely on control. It relies on trust. Trust in your perception. Trust in timing. Trust that what belongs with you will not require struggle to remain. And what leaves quietly simply creates space. You may soon notice that certain conversations no longer pull you into old emotional loops. Familiar words will land differently. Where reactions once rose quickly, there will be pause. And that pause is power. My child, what is unfolding is not about becoming someone new. It is about allowing what has always been true to finally surface. You are not being reshaped. You are being revealed. Before you leave, if this message spoke to your spirit and you believe God is guiding you into a new season, type Amen in the comments below. And if someone came to your mind while listening to this message, share it with them. Sometimes the blessing multiplies when you pass it forward. My beloved, continue forward with trust. You did not arrive at this moment by accident, and you will not move forward alone. What is meant for you recognizes you just as clearly as you recognize it, and it is already moving toward you.